You're listening to Cain, Randy, and Brooke on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back for another week, and we're glad that you did. And I know that you're going to be glad too, because we have yet another awesome band that's been playing all over the place here in our area. And they've really been kind of blowing it up lately. Like I notice every time I look at a band playing out and about, and I see their name come up. But the thing is about the name of this band is that I never know how the hell to pronounce it. So I'm sure I will get into it with the guys as we talk to them. But first off, let me start by addressing the elephant in the room, which is that Randy is not here. He actually quit the Avengers. He's out. He's joined the transfer portal. He's got in with Justice League, and he's out there fighting the good fight for everybody. So let's hopefully Randy comes back to us. He's actually out there playing in the World Series of Poker. Randy is a professional poker player. He's a machine. He's pretty much good at everything, and we're going to miss him on the show, but the show must go on. So that being said, we do have my other host who I'm not DJ BJ anymore, but she's the witchy lady. She's the woman that stole our hearts. And Brooke, I want to apologize right off the bat for last time bringing up the fact that you were a star strutter. You know, I felt like that was unfair for me to do. Like,
No. I think it's perfectly fine. That was my history. I am totally fine with it. It made me reminisce with my sister, and we got the music going again, and we started dancing. And then I had to go to the hospital because I broke my hip. I'm kidding. Too old for that shit. I can still headbang a little bit.
You know, Brooke, I will, because you called me Candy then after that, you know, and we, as a response, I will now refer to myself as Candy Cain Stevens, even though it annoys the hell out of me from here on out. If people would call me Candy Cain forever. I wish it was like Candy Man or something cool, you know, but it never is.
No, that movie, Candy Cane.
You got a little hook to your little candy cane.
Our guests are they're Nebraska City based, and it looks like Helen Bach, but I think it's really just a really clever way, and I love it, of saying Helen Bach. Let's bring them on right now. The band, how are you guys doing? We have Brian, Paulie, Edgar, James, and is that it? No, I think
and Brooke, Big Rod.
Big Rod, unofficial.
I don't think Pop's made it. My Webb is the other one that is usually with us.
Nice. So
otherwise known as Pops.
So you initially started, Brian. You and your dad initially started the band. Is that correct?
Well, we started playing. Me and James actually played back in the '90s, and we played all over the place, and then quit to raise families and such. And then a few years back, the old man was like, "Hey," he was working at a nursing home. He's like, "You want to bring your guitar up and play a few songs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" And so we did that, and it was like, hey, that was kind of fun. And then, of course, I've known Paulie forever, and he was like, yeah, I'll thump on a box. And so we did some cajon stuff, and James just happens to be my brother-in-law, also an excellent bass player. I was like, well, hell, let's just bring James along. And next thing I know, we've got Ed in the group, and boom, it's off.
Man, you guys have been killing it. I mean, you guys, I see you guys playing out everywhere. You're playing the whole area. I mean, you're doing what you have to do to be successful as a cover band, but you're more than a cover band, right? You guys also write originals, correct?
Yeah. We've got several originals that we've actually got down. Some we're writing together as we speak. We don't really have anything out yet because we're going to, instead of just throwing everything at the wall, we're going to try to actually get some good stuff and then lay that out to folks when we get it done.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys when that happens. You know, get a hold of us. we'll definitely promote it and talk to people about it and get people excited about your original release. So let's talk. So Brian, you're the lead singer, correct? And guitar.
Yeah, they put me in front of a microphone anyway.
You all kind of do vocals, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much. The majority of the vocals, I mean, between Ed, Paul, and James will jump on every once in a while. But yeah, it's a group effort.
I got to see these guys at the Keg, and they were a lot of fun to watch. And all the music, I was like, hell yeah, this is amazing. And I had to leave early, and I wanted to stay, and I almost just left or had everybody leave, and I was like, I'll be back later. But it was a lot of fun to watch you guys. I love your music. I mean, you have a plethora of it. And I think my favorite kind of music is obviously, I love 90s music, but you guys play so many, like a plethora of music, classic, country, 90s. You have your own coming out. What's your favorite kind of to play together as a group?
For me, so far, everything. I mean, the way we do like Neil Diamond, that's Sweet Caroline, we just kind of jazz it up our own way. I mean, I can't pick any genre that we do that is my favorite.
No, I really can't either.
Yeah, all the songs
Brian,
are a lot of fun to play there.
Well, and you're from Nebraska City, and I have some good friends that live up there or used to live up there. And do they have a good music scene? Because I was kind of a little bit younger when I was up there. Do you guys have a favorite bar that you like to go to? Or house, whatever, the street.
There's this cornfield right outside the building here. Around here, we do a little dive bar. This bar is original to this town and it's got roots back to Jesse James going here and some of the presidents. It's called Denny Moore's, and there's a big parking lot outside, and we've done a lot of shows there.
And different things out there. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
So when did you guys start making your way to Lincoln then? And how have those shows been going for you?
Well, that's all Edgar's fault. We just wanted to play in our pajamas on the couch at home, and Edgar came along and started saying, "Hey,
you still can. You can wear your pajama. We can have pajama band night."
The pajama band.
The pajama band. Yep.
Pajama band.
I joined the band about a year and a little bit more ago, and honestly, I never said this to you guys in person, but I'm going to say it now on the podcast. And I saw a lot of potential with how we played together. And I saw that there are markets we weren't really busting into. So, and they happen to be the biggest markets around, right? Lincoln and Omaha.
Originally, we were just going to do, I don't know, 2-3 shows a year.
A year? You didn't tell me that in the interview.
Surprise!
It was going to be something. In the beginning, it was just going to be something just to mess around with and jam. I used to tour professionally. Brian's been playing for years, and Edgar, well, he's from South Carolina, and we can't blame him for anything else but.
Saw an opportunity, I wasn't going to throw away my shot. Right?
Edgar came in and he took the reins on booking, and
you found him on Tinder. Is that how you find bandmates?
Grinder.
And Grinder.
Yeah.
And Jam.
Farmersonly.com.
Yeah. I knew it. I thought so.
Yeah, we have a good thing going. Brian's got a great voice. And I thought that we could do well, and especially after I used to be in marketing before I moved to Nebraska. So I kind of looked at the market. I saw the bands. I kind of took a deep dive on Facebook and saw all the bands and listened to videos and all that. And I was like, we sound better than most of these guys. No, I'm not naming anybody. Or it's good. There's people playing bigger venues here, and I'm in Papillion. So I'm near the Omaha market, but it's really Omaha Council Bluffs. So I was like, we're just as good, if not better, than these guys. So why don't we just try to get some of these gigs? It's been a struggle. these people are booked, the clubs are booked a year in advance at times. And so over the last 6 months or 7 months, we've kind of gotten our feet wet with places in Lincoln, also a few places here in Omaha Metro. And we've gotten really positive response from the club owners and also the crowds. And I was confident that that was going to be the case, but it was really rewarding to see it come to be. And I hope that continues. And I got a spread list of club names and club owners that I harass on email all the time. But that's the name of the game, you just keep going.
Well, I hate bringing this up, but like with COVID, and we didn't get to go out and do go see live bands. And you're right, a lot of places they're booked. And but now they're starting to, more and more places want live music. They want to see more of you guys. And I know when I got to see you, speaking of working good together, you guys weren't boring at all. Like, you were fun to watch. Like, you actually give a performance. And I interviewing a lot of musicians, you can tell the crowd, they love that when people are not just standing up there and you're just like, okay, am I old person's church, not like the fun church or whatever. And you guys give a performance, and you guys are really good. You work really well together. And I think you need a bigger venue. I think we need to get you something huge, or like a big, huge street dance or something. Although summertime street dances, that sucks. You need like a puke bucket and a big jug of water.
We've done them before. We did actually before Ed joined up, we did a couple that whole summer. We seemed to do, I don't know how many, it was 5 or 6 street dances. And you're right, it's murder, but it's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a busy summer. By the time October came around, I was ready to sit back and go, let it snow.
Let it stop.
Yeah. That was a grueling summer.
I can remember playing a lot of those street dances and big gigs, and it's 100 degrees out. And I can remember the drummer back there, ready to throw up the whole time. So, Brooke, you're not wrong. The extra bucket is necessary, and extra strings is a must when you play out in the hot.
Oh, absolutely. I remember I was always that, the one getting the batteries I was the puke bucket girl. Or the water. Yeah, the water person. I had to go learn how to do like CPR just in case one of my buddies passed out. It was, I kudos to you guys when you go in that heat, but you're right. The strings, all of that. But I don't know how you guys can just keep going and going and going, but the show must go on. I know people that shit their pants. Right on, you guys. Well, pretty cool.
We're just not too pumped up.
I'm not shitting my pants.
Well, Paulie does bring his own puke button. His
I do. I can puke right down my shirt. And
actually, he sits on it.
What do you think is in that big face drum?
It was like you went to Helen Bach.
Good one.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're English, it's Helen Bach.
Helen Bach.
I do love that name, though. That's pretty badass.
I came up with that. Oh, I think I was 16 years old, and it was just one of those. Truthfully, I believe it was an argument I had with my mother, God rest her soul. And she said that I was going to go to Helen Bach, and all I got out of the whole conversation was, oh, that's a cool band name. And then, I was like 16, and I just thought to myself, one day, with the right guys, I joined up with Brian and his dad, and it's his son, for that matter.
Yeah, Jesse was jamming with us a little bit too, yeah.
Yep. And then we got James in. Once we decided to go full electric, and I told Brian, I go, dude, I've had this name for years, and it's time to put it into use, and I think it'd be cool. And if he didn't grab me by the mid area with excitement, I knew by the look on his face, he was like, yeah, that's a good name.
It is a good name. Sometimes you have names that you can't even pronounce, or they're trying to be, I don't know what they're trying to be, but get a name that I love that. Like I always say, I went to Helen Bach. That's just work.
Yeah.
And literally they're like, you went to the band, and I was like, no, I mean literally, it's like Helen Bach, and they're like,
Helen
no,
Bach.
like you went to the band, and I'm like, yeah, actually I did.
Yeah.
But I love those, like the names. I think are so important. And I also, a lot of musicians I know, they like to name their instruments, and I just want to tell you, I have a harmonica. And Christian
boy.
Brian is the harmonica. Okay. And it's called Harmonica Lewinsky. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, wow.
It really
That's just-
blows.
She does. She's off key a little, but
Let's ask everybody, Brooke. That's
Yeah.
a great point. Like, do you guys name your instruments? And if you do, what do you got? I mean, like, do you have multiples that have names? Tell us what your instruments or your guitar.
I've only got one, and it's Mandy for my mandolin.
My drum kit, I call it the Franken kit, but the bass drum, the guys don't even know this, and it sounds chauvinist, but it's not. It's just me. The bass drum, Dixie, and then last name enormous. It's enormous.
I thought that's funny, but I thought it'd be like Satan.
No,
Helen Bach.
I just look like Satan. No.
I like
Dixie
Dixie.
Norman.
I always like, yes, I like those little weird names too. Yeah. It's like Simpsons where he calls the bar. Is Al here?
Yeah.
IP freely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's hear from James. We haven't heard from James as a typical bass player. He's just kind of hanging back there, hanging loose. James, do you have any instrument names for those bass guitars?
No, I don't actually name any of my guitars. And yeah, I'm just sitting back making sure everything works. But no, I just have one thing. It's called the monstrosity, but and I rarely ever take it out. But it's a 1200 watt bass rig. I just can't play it anywhere.
It has to be for a big outdoor venue. This thing would blow the walls out of most places.
Can you call it Big Red?
I could. It's black.
But it's black.
Oh, well, I mean,
Big Black doesn't have the same ring,
No, I don't. I hate to do this to you guys, but I actually have to go on a call. So thank you very much. Finish out the show, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you so much.
They're dropping like flies, Brooke. They must be hating this show right now. They're
It's like hell back.
It's like Helen Bach, man. Yeah, I do name guitars, by the way.
Yeah, we want to know the names of your guitars, Edgar.
Like it's a thing for guitarists, I think, more than anyone else. Definitely not basses. Never heard of any basses naming their guitar. And James don't keep them long enough.
Yeah, I run through so much gear. It's not even funny. I have a severe case of gas. I need actually to be in a 12-step program.
Can you explain what gas is other than flatulence? What was that, gear?
Acquisition syndrome.
Yeah.
We all have it, don't we, as musicians? I mean, you can never
I think
have
so.
enough. I mean, I've probably had at least 50 guitars throughout the time that I've been playing, at least that. And I mean, I'm sitting on, I don't know, 12 right now. And you always have that one you want more, or like guitar pedals. I mean, as a guitarist, it's like pedals or effects or something. You're always after that next.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I just for an example, I mean, I got one of my bucket list guitars just a couple weeks ago. I finally purchased a gold top, and I've always wanted one. And now I've got one, and it's like, you know what? I think I'm actually done.
Liar. I've heard this so many times in the past 5 years.
It's still here.
Ooh.
Well, it's still there. Yeah, everything else is kind of gone. And James does. James found Marketplace, and we've watched him just get out of control. We've had to feed his kids for him, comfort his wife a couple of times. I mean, not in that manner.
You better watch out.
No, I know what you're talking about. I've gone with musicians into different places, and I think we're there longer than I work in a day. I mean, I was there forever, and you got to pick everything out. You got to try it out. And I remember one time I got to try a guitar, and the guy literally came over and shut the door. And the guy before me, he had opened it. And he's like, "That sounds really good." And then he kind of comes over and shuts it nicely. And I'm like, "What?" So I got my harmonica Lewinsky out, and then I had to buy another one called Bill.
Which one sucks and which one blows?
You guess.
Mm.
They do both.
Brooke, you have a knack for making every conversation dirty, and I love it. Like it's a blast talking to you. It really is.
I think that was I love being a bartender too, because I can get away with that. Like I always said, man, if I walked in church, I don't know if I'd melt or if I just have to like duct tape my mouth. I'd be like, "Fucking hallelujah." Yeah, you know. And I don't know. It's just something I don't have a filter very well, but that's what Cain's for. He helps me out with that one.
Yeah, I told Cain, he was texting me yesterday, and I told him, I said, "By the way, is there anything I have to know? Maybe that I better keep in mind, because I'm kind of the unfiltered one, extremely. And I'm the same way. I'm the one that'll turn everything sexual. I will turn everything vulgar.
I know, we can get along great. I have a picture of all of us, and you're holding your golden little, I don't know, it's your, what do you call that? You're blowing, yeah.
My drumstick.
You're drunk. And that was the funniest picture, dude. I was like, didn't even know you were doing it. I don't know if it was Edgar or somebody goes, Paulie's holding his junk. I wanted to make it my profile picture. Just hone in, though. And thank you, Cain. Yes, I do make everything pervy and very awkward sometimes, but what do you do?
I'm awkward and pervy also. So trust me, I'm just sure when Randy listens back,
That's right.
He's like the voice of reason. He's going to like melt when he hears, like when the cat's away, the mice will play a little bit.
You seem a little pervy animal.
All right, party people, we got to hit the brakes here for a moment and run that Elegant Sasquatch ad, and then go ahead and do the loaded local roundup. There's so much going on, and then we'll talk about the people, places, and things that keep this show going, keep the lights on, and keep everything, especially the party, rolling all day and night long. So let's run that ad, and then when we get back after that, we'll be back with Helen Bach.
Dude, last night was a rager. I literally don't remember anything. What happened, and why do our beards smell so bad?
It all started when a Sasquatch came out of the woods. He was doing keg stands. He DJ'd the party for a while. He even brought a live skunk to hang out. It was epic. It was getting late when Sasquatch's skunk friend decided to spray his pungent odor everywhere. Now our beards smell like rotten eggs and trash.
Don't worry, friend.
Is that you, Sasquatch?
It's me, your boy Squatch. Have no fear, my nose-melting follicle friends. I have just what you're looking for to get the skunk stench out of those skunktified beards. The Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company has all sorts of balms, butters, oils, and washes to turn you from skunk to hunk in no time.
Oh, bro, this is a trip. I feel like I'm dreaming, man. I'm gonna go back to bed.
Well, pinch yourself now because you're not dreaming, my friend. I'm here to tell you about all the great things going on at the Elegant Sasquatch Beard Company.
Oh, tell me you have something to help us with these smelly beards.
Not only do I have something for that, but I have so much more. Head on over to elegantsasquatchco.etsy.com to check out the shop and look at all the different beard balms, butters, oils, face washes, and bundles that we have to offer. In addition to all of our great prices, if you mention the Scratch the Vinyl podcast with Scratch30 at checkout, you'll get an additional 30% off of your order.
Oh, man, this beard wash is amazing, and these oils smell so good I could drink it.
Oh, you foolish little human. That's not what they're talking about with hair of the dog.
But seriously, Squatch, these scents are amazing. I already smell better.
Well, on that note, it's time to grab another beer and, oh, it looks like our friend the skunk just arrived. It's time to party. I call dibs on the first game of beer pong.
All right, everybody, let's get to that loaded, and I mean loaded, local roundup. We have so much going on in this fine town and area. So let's talk about it. So let's start at Gray's Keg like we always do. They've got a killer lineup going on, and this weekend is not going to be any dang different. So Saturday night, Gray's has the band that we're talking to right now. It's a goodbye show for Jeff, their sound guy. We want to personally say goodbye and thank you for everything that you did there. You're a killer sound guy, Jeff. But they'll have Twisted Chrome and the band that we're talking to right now, Helen Bach, starting at 8 p.m. So go there. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a cover. So go there. If there is, don't get mad at me. I'm not paying it for you. But I don't think there is. So let's move on over to 1867. Looks like an 8 p.m. door and 8:30 show. $12 all ages show. They've got Frantic Youth, Dead and Driving, and Joy Rangers. So go check that out. Bodega's Alley has a show. It looks like a Saturday night at 9 p.m. They've got Swall Pope and Head Change over there. So they've got the new ownership. You might want to go check that out too. Let's look at the Zoo Bar now. The Zoo Bar is always jam-packed, and this weekend is no different. They've got for their FAC, they've got Sean Cole and Drunk Monkey. Their 9 p.m. show for Friday night will be Wheelwright and Jared in the Mill. And Saturday, their early show will be Sam Morrow. And then 9 p.m., they have DJ Relic doing a dance party over there, keeping the party going. So that sounds like a blast. Let's move on over to the Big Ten Bar now. They've got a lot of stuff going on. So Big Ten Bar, it looks like on Friday night, they've got Twisted Chrome over there at 9 p.m. So you can catch those guys on Friday there and then roll on over to Gray's on Saturday and you can see them again. So that's always a fun time. Those guys are killing it, and I'm sure they're going to be on the show very soon. Let's move over south now. Cappy's Friday night. They have Happy Endings. And then Saturday, they've got the M80 band. So go over there and see them and tell everybody everywhere that you heard it here on Scratch the Vinyl. And now let's talk about some of our sponsors real quick. We have Roots Music Shop. Your instant cool factor goes up the second you buy an instrument, especially a guitar. But he's got so much over there. Go over there. You can even buy records. But speaking of records, if you're really looking for records, go on over as well to Backtrack Records. Backtrack Records is my favorite place to go. They're open early. They're open on Mondays. Most of them aren't. That's a selling point in itself. Go there before I go there and buy it all. We've got Lil Bill's Barbecue. You're all having barbecues right now, and this guy is a local guy doing it, making great sauces for great prices. So you can get a hold of Lil Bill's Barbecue on Facebook. Tell him that Scratch the Vinyl sent you. Once again, we have American Senior Benefits. If you call them, ask personally for Jason DeGosh. He's the man with the plan. Say, I want Jason DeGosh at American Senior Benefits, and he will get you going with a great plan. Last but not least, we have Sly Ink Tattoo. If you need a tattoo here in Lincoln, then look no further than Bryce and Sly Ink Tattoo. That's where I go for all my new tattoos. Some of my old ones, they're probably iffy, but I can get them fixed there at any time, and I will, because I love Bryce at Sly Ink. Now let's get back to it with our new friends from the band Helen Bach. As much as I hate to do it, let's get a little more, because I want people to get to know you guys. So I want to ask you guys the questions that we like to ask, such as, like, how did you guys get into music? What were your early starts in music, and why did you do it? So I'll ask, I'll just go down the line. I'll ask Paulie first. Like, what lunacy brought you to drums? When did you start, all that type of stuff?
I started like early junior high. I was playing in the school band. I started with the trumpet, and I'm so ADHD. I couldn't stay with that one. Once I figured it out, I had to move to another and then another. It was always the drums. It was something about beating on something and not going to jail that was just awesome. Yeah, the band teacher, I literally had to sneak back by the percussionists, and they were hiding me behind a bass drum about the size of the big one that I use. We were doing the Hogan's Heroes March, and that's when I snuck up there. The number one snare player kind of tucked himself away. I played it just by ear. I got in a lot of trouble. So I said, well, Up your ass there, band teacher. I'm going on tour next year. And well, here it is 40 some years later. But yeah, bands like Def Leppard, all the hair band era, even though my roots go all the way back to like CCR and all the good 70s stuff and 60s and Beatles, right? The cliche, what every musician says, Yeah, I think my first album was Jackson 5. I'm going to say this, Jackson 5, ABT. Then I got Beach Boys' Endless Summer, and I don't feel the same ever since.
There's nothing wrong with ABC and Jackson 5. Everybody has their start. You got into hair bands. You mentioned CCR. Mm-hmm. All those drummers in the 60s and 70s were phenomenal. They just had a certain groove to them that were amazing.
Yeah, definitely, like John Bonham, my number one influence. But they all took one single bass drum, did just volumes with it. You can't tell if it's two bass drums or one bass drum. They just knew how to use everything functionally well.
How about you, Edgar? You're a lead guitar player. Did you get into it like most guitar players do? I want to get chicks. I want people to worship me. Why did you get into lead guitar?
I think those are the exact reasons right there.
They all are.
No, I was a lonely teenager, probably 15 or so.
It was for the pay, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was a lonely teen, and I really liked some of the songs coming out in the mid 80s when I first really started playing guitar. And then Satriani came out with Surfing with the Alien, and that just blew my mind. And ever since then, just not really metal, but guitar-centric music has been always kind of my go-to, my home. But I do like other types of music too. But
are you crying?
I'm crying, man. It's so emotional. My first cassette tape I bought with my own cash, was Thriller by Michael Jackson when it came out. So it was so long ago. The cassette was in black and white, because it's before color printing was available.
Do you know what mine was? Dirty Dancing.
My first album was Thriller.
Oh,
that was the first one I bought as well. He had Jackson 5. I bought Thriller when I had a little suitcase record player. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Man, I'm glad to hear. I feel so much closer to you guys now because I thought I was the only Jackson.
Well, I was 6.
I was harboring so many feelings of discontent about myself.
Unlike you.
Well, Beat It is on the Thriller album. And that's Eddie Van Halen. I didn't know that for like 20 years.
Tell us why did you start on guitar and then move to bass? What got you into bass guitar?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm a failed guitarist. And that just kind of how it works. But yeah, I like everybody else, you listen to something and you're like, well, okay, that's awesome. And then you realize, I've never really experienced this before. I guess the thing is that I'm getting at is that I remember hearing Metallica for the first time. It just blew me away, and I was never exposed to that type of music much before I got into I guess it would be 8th or 7th or 8th grade, and then all of a sudden my eyes were opened, and then it's Mustaine, Hetfield, and I wanted to be a rock star, and I just wanted to learn how to play, and so I scratched and pleaded to get a guitar and got a guitar. And then next thing you know, I'm not really good at it because it was just something that I did at one point or another. And I'm like, you know what? These guys are kind of fun to play. So I bought a bass and ended up jumping in with an audition before meeting Brian, and played with a different band. And for some reason they wanted me to play. And I'm like, okay, well, great. And it moves on. And then the band just exploded from there. I met Brian and a few other guys. And that was, back in the 90s. And, like you said, when you're a teenager, you want to be a rock star, everything's with it. But yeah, that's how it started with me.
Well, I don't sell yourself short. It's not easy to play. It can be easy if you play bass, right? You could just lay on the root note or do something like that. But I mean, I guarantee there are a lot of guys who are they're not at the lead level. I mean, I'm a singer that plays rhythm who can also play lead, but I'll guarantee I can't play lead like Edgar can. My mind doesn't connect. I play more like harmonies or or play some sort of what am I saying? Not harmonies, melodies and that type of thing that fits for the song. So I don't necessarily connect the dots in that way, but I mean I'm glad that you're at least telling us a little bit about it. And also, James, I want to tell you this. You have the most radio voice out of all of us. If we needed a guy, I mean, he's got that Wolfman Jack sound to him. I mean, we might have to bring you on the show, my friend.
He's got me convinced to go buy Blue Chew.
I appreciate that, but yeah, I actually, I guess what I'm trying to think is that I agree with what you were saying there. Is that I definitely associate myself more with like a Malcolm Young, if anything, not an Angus. So.
James by far is. Now I'm glad his pictures. He's not live because he'll get a tear, but he's by far the best bass player I've ever played with. Him and I, when our pocket kind of connected, there's no other better feeling except for Edgar touching me inappropriately. But James is the powerhouse behind my power drumming that is just, I love it. This guy he's got some moves. His amp's good. They go to a 14, not 11.
You're kind of letting the people who aren't musicians, they probably don't understand this, but you're kind of pulling back the veil a little bit. And that really, where all bands kind of come together, really is like the deep bond musically between the drummer and the bass player, correct?
Yeah, that pocket, that rhythm doesn't have to be dream theater, so technical all the time. Just a straight pocket, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you get kicked in the nuts or in the chest or in the face, and that's rock and roll.
Yeah, it makes a difference when you start feeling the music as opposed to just hearing it.
Exactly.
And honestly, I mean, there's a lot of triggers that you can watch between each other, and I don't know. I mean, I just happen to notice that I have to keep time. I mean, it's exactly what you're saying. Once the drummer and the bass player kind of connect and actually can anticipate each other, then you definitely get a little bit more rhythm going.
Yeah, I think musicians are like the Navy SEALs or the Green Beret or whatever. Like you guys made it, and it takes a lot of work to do what you do, and especially to find that cohesiveness within the band. And I think that is, you could be a great musician, but if you can't work with somebody or find that groove with somebody, then you got to find somebody else. And I know a lot of musicians say, well, we got to let you go. And they're not really like, okay, that's okay. Because you got to find that person. It's like a doctor, you don't want to go to one that you don't trust, you trust who you're with and you play better. And you guys have that 100%. Like your guys' shows, like I said earlier, like they really are so, I can just watch you guys. Cause I have been to practices and watch, other bands and you can always, there's just little tiny quirks that you have where you're like, somebody screwed up. You kind of look over and they're, laughing, but somebody fixes it. And it's just, but you don't even know what's happening unless you really know that band or that, from behind the scenes. But yeah, I think you guys have a really nicely fit group of men. And you all have great personalities, and I'm sure I would love to go to one of your practices sometimes. And if you've been listening to the show, like the past ones, I like lasagna, and I'll bring you some if you want, and harmonica Lewinsky if you would like.
Can I wear my polka dotted dress?
Absolutely.
Like Minnie Mouse?
You can spit all over. Yeah.
We can wear PJs.
Well, one thing, we're all dads, so that helps in dealing with acrimonious and tantrums. We try to de-escalate. I don't do gentle parenting, but I understand some concepts of it, and I do use that. It's like gentle hands, Paul.
You know how to communicate. That's a good thing.
Like be kind.
Last a lot longer with you, Edgar.
I love the banter you guys have within each other too. That does show a lot of trust there too. And I think you're getting to know each other today on the show as well. There's some few things that y'all didn't know. You know what? I think you might have to have a theme night for Thriller or something, you know, fun with it.
I didn't know that Edgar was on Grinder, but now that
that's how he found you.
oh, well,
That's how Brian found me.
no, that was
He's
that
not
was
here.
Yeah,
to
that's,
defend
that's
himself.
right.
Yeah, we met on Grinder. Yeah, and actually, we met on Facebook. To be honest, I put out a little video of playing on one of this like musicians funding musicians Nebraska or something like that.
I think there's an app out now where you can actually go on and find musicians in your local area or whatever if you want to play or jam or something. But yeah,
I haven't used that. I don't use that. I'm too old.
It used to be Craigslist back
There's
in the
an age
days
requirement.
until the serial killers took it over. It used to
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I remember those days of Craigslist. I mean, if it wasn't, am I going to get murdered going over here buying a drum set? It would be, okay, am I going to get murdered when these guys meet me and they're
Take
actually
my
up
drum
back?
set.
Yeah.
I was concerned when I did my tryout. When I had to go to what was it?
Hamburg, over to
in,
James's
Hamburg,
house.
Iowa. I had to go out there.
And you were interrupting our whiskey tasting day.
I was going to say, did you have to meet in a public place? Did you go to like
No, it was somebody's house.
No.
It was a space.
We brought you and
band.
we were practicing at my place, and we like, well, let's bring him down here. And I never once thought about it, but you know, from his point of view, it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm driving out in the middle of a cornfield, this town in the middle of nowhere.
Did you say bring some lotion and put it in the basket? Here's my basement.
I'm a little chunky, you know. I can make a good jacket out of me.
So do you guys have some stuff coming up, or do you have like some shows we could go to, or how do we get a hold of you? Let us know like anywhere we can get a hold of you and where we're going to go see you next.
This weekend, to get Friday or Saturday night, Edgar?
It's Saturday night.
Jeff, the house sound man at the Keg there in Lincoln, announced his retirement last month or the month before, but this Saturday night, it's us and Twisted Chrome, and kind of giving Jeff, the house sound man, his send off. That guy
June 28th.
June 28th, this Saturday at the Keg. And that sound guy, he is phenomenal. They are so lucky to have that guy. And I guarantee he's not really going to go in retirement because he's going to get some money a lot of other places.
Yeah, give that guy a little bit of 420 fun.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a good guy. So you guys are going to be down there. And then are you going to be anywhere else around the surrounding areas or in like even Nebraska City or more Lincoln? Also, we really want to know how to get a hold of you and where to see some of your stuff on like Facebook and Instagram and if you have all that stuff.
All right, yeah. So you can find us on the web at helenbach.live, Live. That's
or Helen Bach.
Yeah, Helen Bach and .live.
It's spelled the same no matter how you say it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's all about what part of the country you're from.
I honestly thought it was like Bach and Beethoven. Like I was really thinking that. And then after I'd said it I was like, Helen Bach. Yeah. The hell?
The Bach did come from, the music, that it was all about Bach. But just to me, at 16 years old, cool has got to be cool. And Bach wasn't cool. So I just said, well, Motley Crue does the 2 dots above the O. And there's a handful of others that it looks one way. It's, sounds a different way. Guess what? That's cool. I came up with it, so it's cool.
It's great. It's like when you have conversations and somebody says a weird name, and you're like, yeah, I like that for a band name. Like, did we have Ham Wallet? I like Ham Wallet. Right. It's just an appetizer my sister and I make. But we love the name. And
Ham Wallet.
Yeah.
Is that another name for meat curtains?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's an actual appetizer. Yeah. But I love making up band names. We do it all the time, and it's so much fun to do. And I love your band. And I know you guys are going to be with Twisted Chrome this this Saturday. And I think they're coming on next week, or I don't know, they're going to be on here as well at some point. And they're fun to watch as well. But that'll be a great show. That'll be a really good show. And is there like a cover charge or anything? Just probably nope. Just come on in and let's have fun.
You got to buy booze.
Well, hell yeah! If you don't buy booze, get the hell out of here. You go hell back.
Gray would encourage everyone to buy a lot of beer and liquor.
Oh yeah. Let's get the party started, man. And you guys play, and then the party does get started. It is so much fun. I cannot tell everybody enough. You need to come see these guys. They're amazing.
Oh, and Gray's Keg is one of our sponsors. They've been one of our earliest sponsors of the show. And Karen and Pat are just fantastic owners. They just, not all of them get it. I'm not dogging all you owners out there. We appreciate your venues, but not all of them get it. But Pat and Karen do get it. And so I know you guys are going to have a blast. We really do appreciate you guys being on the show. But like all good things, this one good thing has to come to an end. Hopefully we can have you guys back in the near future. And we just want to thank you guys for being on the show with us.
Thank you guys very much. I can't wait to see you guys out live again. I mean, our first encounter was everything I was hoping it would be, but ended up less.
Also, find us on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook, Instagram, right?
Yeah.
We only have Facebook at the moment.
Okay, well, you're going to get Instagram apparently now. No.
Got to be on the gram and on TikTok now. I mean,
TikTok is the one I want to get back on.
Yeah.
Hey, that's us.
Check that.
I think TikTok, just trying to figure out what kind of content to create. It's just so much. It's a lot of more work than Facebook.
It is, but I was asking my kids because they're, they love all that kind of stuff, and they said, Mom, if you get on TikTok, then it'll just spread everywhere. And I go, well, what do you mean spread everywhere? Okay, Mom, you know what I mean. But TikTok's a good one. It does take a minute though to get all that on there.
TikTok numbers are just gigantic compared to. I mean, I guess it really does depend on content.
Well, we're taking it over, so it's Scratch the Vinyl is taking over TikTok. It's going to be.
That's a real clever name too. I love that, Scratch the Vinyl.
Yeah, that was a brainchild between Randy, who's not here, and myself. Randy kind of came up with the name, and him and I kind of spun off of it from there. And that's what it was. We're just avid collectors of vinyl, and why not scratch? I mean, we just scratch the hell out of it until you can't listen to it anymore and buy another one. So
it should be called Scratch My Vinyl.
Well, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Helen Bach was amazing. You can call them Helen Bach if you want, and they're not going to mind at all. But go see them at Gray's Keg. And also, everybody, check out Brooke's OnlyFans, meatfeet.net, and check out all of our socials at Scratch the Vinyl Podcast everywhere, including our YouTube. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will catch you on the flip side here on
Scratch the Vinyl.